Okay, so let's hop in really quick. So I'm Stephanie. I'm a content strategist and coach, as well as a networking event curator. So I curate events specifically for content creators and connecting content creators with opportunities, as well as networking opportunities. So this has been a space more recently that I kind of was guided into simply because of my previous type of work. So I was in the educational system. And while I was in the educational system, I also helped with events. And I did a plethora of other things, but events, I was like known for events. Whether it was Black History Month, some more so Black History Month. And I felt like I had to be, because if we don't, not just for the month of February, but just in general, if we don't do that, it will be forgotten. The history, the culture, all of it will be forgotten if we don't continue to shine light on things. So, no, not every Black history we're talking about slavery, and slavery is very much so an important part of history. But I don't only want students to be able to speak from that angle. I want them to be able to speak from a success standpoint as well. And I feel like depicting that by showing kids people who have made changes in history is a great way to go. And creating events, especially around Women's History Month, and creating events that spark those type of things is my forte. So I felt like I'm very much a experiential learner. I learn through experiences, like putting me in that moment is how I learn. And I also feel like kids learn the same exact way, believe it or not. That's why you find in the classroom you lose a lot of kids' attention, because you're talking majority of the class, you're having them read. Some of them are not even reading on grade level, so now you've lost a percentage of the class. And then the few that can actually read, typically tend to either enjoy it, and then you have a circle that doesn't enjoy it because they know how to do it, so they find it so easy, so it's boring to them. And then you have a group that's just completely lost. But something I find that helps the entire class and gets the entire class's attention is giving them an experience. So what helped me when I was in the classroom with getting my kids to actually focus on what they had to do was letting them know that you were going to get an experience very much similar to this lesson. So that also pushed for people to do well, because nobody wanted to not be a part of the experience and things like that. So that helped me out. You have to find strategies that work. So little did I know, going through this process of creating experiences and events, it would then have led me to eventually leave the classroom and now pursue creating the same type of experiences and events for content creators in that space. So how I do that, I pretty much know my target audience, and by knowing your target audience is market research, asking them questions, is posting polls on Instagram. These are things that you can take notes on in your business. If you want to get more clear on who you're trying to serve, you have to understand who you're trying to serve. So I knew, okay, based off of the people that interacted with this, whom I know are content creators, then I know I need to create an event that focuses on this particular thing. So because I knew I attracted a lot of content creators who focused on really wanting to build their businesses out, wanting to work with businesses, whether it was UGC, being lifestyle content creators, I had to create an event that had a little bit of all of that. So people had the choice to choose who did they want to connect with. So I brought on speakers from different areas of content creation, from lifestyle creators to content creators who focused primarily on one particular, app, and have seen success on that one particular app, and also brands. I was able to get an influencer marketer to come to my very first event. And it was definitely all God, because my goal this year and in general, and I feel what God wants for our people, is for us to get more aligned with what's for us, get more aligned with our brands, get more aligned with our brand messages, get more aligned with who we're talking to, because there's people who need to be served by God's people. And in order for the people to be served by God's people, and not be in disobedience because they're not acting on their goals and the things that God has told them that He wants them to do out of fear. We need people in positions that are very sure of who they are and what their job is so that you can pull these people. Of course, you want to pull people that are ready, but essentially, you want to be that light that kind of sparks it for people who are still like on the fence and trying to figure it out. So for me, that's how I realized what my purpose was. And I'm still growing and learning in Christ. And being a content strategist and just an entrepreneur in general, I firmly feel like this is a ministry. Anything where you're serving people is a ministry. Anything where you're pouring into people, helping people figure out their path and their journey and how they're going to walk it is a ministry, because you need to really be tugging on God. You need to be praying for your clients, because the last thing you want to do is tell somebody to go left when God is really telling them to go right. And now you've just misled people, and you have people going down a road that's not for them, wasting their time. So now they're in a place for 40 years when they really could have just been there less than that. You know what I'm saying? So this is a ministry, and we have to take our businesses seriously, which leads me to my next point of being impactful and purpose. So because I come from a space of education, and I you learn certain techniques and just certain things are just natural to you. So I learned that I always had a natural way with people and building connections and building community. So when I decided to leave teaching out, in essence, I also left the where I was and completely moved. So now I'm in a new space and I'm pretty much starting from scratch and trying to figure everything out. But I started networking because I know to some extent what I'm interested in doing and attacking it. But, getting around other people who are in similar fields and have similar understanding, it just makes you have more clarity on what it is that you want to do. So that's when I realized, okay, I really enjoy working with people. I really enjoy watching people's growth, tracking their growth with them. I enjoy getting on calls with people and helping them figure out certain things, because a lot of our gifts is hidden between the things that we weren't called to do, but like are trying so hard to do. And when you're called to do something, it's literally the thing that you least expect. It's the thing that you feel, because it requires the least effort, that it's not going to be successful, because it's too easy. So then we naturally try and do something a little bit more difficult. And then you experience a lot of stress and strife in that particular area, because that's not where God called you to. And then now you're trying to pray Him into something that He didn't even send you to do. And because God is so loving and He's so faithful, He is still going to be there for you. He is still going to make sure you see your way through, but it is going to be very difficult in the storm. It is going to be very difficult, but you will, of course, with consistency and just being tried and true to what it is that you want to do, you will see a way through. But then a lot of people end up realizing when they get into that space that it's not for them. So they end up leaving, and then they take some time to themselves, and then they get this calling. God, is getting tired of you going in a circle. He's getting tired of you placing your energy and placing yourself where you don't belong. And then He puts you in front of somebody, or has you listen to a particular sermon, or a particular friend calls you, or somebody, and it just sparks a new thing. And now here you are with the fire going towards that thing, because it makes way more sense for you. And you actually surprise yourself, because you're like, dang, like I've always had this gift and I never thought to act on it. I've always had this thing and I never thought to act on it, and you finally do. And then you see so much success from it, even quicker than you did with the last thing, because the last thing had to take time, because you weren't the person for that job. You assigned yourself. So in this year 2025, let's stop assigning ourselves to things God did not call us to do. And I'm speaking specifically for content creation, right? Because not everybody's meant to be a lifestyle content creator. Not everybody's meant to even be on the internet recording their life to certain aspects. But there is a message in everything. And that's what I like to create in my spaces. And the people that I work with, I typically ask a lot of questions. And based off of how you answer these questions, it helps me guide you better, because I never want to guide anybody to a place that's not going to be fulfilling for them. And how I guide is you having you realize the gifts and the things, asking you, how God is speaking to you, what has been in your spirit, for you to do next. And if it doesn't match what you're currently doing, so if this was in your spirit, why are you doing XYZ? And really getting people to make sense of their own thing. Because again, we're in a space where everybody's trying to get it, and I love to see it. It's so many new businesses, it's so many new content creators, it's so many new different types of content that I never thought would ever be a thing. So it's a lot to see and it's a lot to take in. But you also have to figure out, yes, everybody's doing this, but what am I going to bring to the table? How am I going to set the tone for something different? And in order for you to set the tone for something different, it's literally getting extremely close with God and asking him to make it so clear, crystal clear for you. Get in your word, and he will make it so crystal clear for you what it is you have to do, how to go about it. He will connect you with the right people. You just have to put yourself in the rooms. And I do want to say, and I might make it another video, but I do want to say a lot of us want to see success, but we don't want to come out of our comfort zone. And I really don't understand that correlation. You cannot see success unless you come out of where you're comfortable at. Now, we have people who want to do content creation, but you don't want to get in front of the camera. You want to make money, but you don't want to seem like you're selling. And you don't want to tell people what you're selling, but you want to make money. I never understood that. So it's just like, how are you going to get to the next thing if you spend more time saying all the things you don't want to do? And that's me too on a lot of calls with people. They're telling me all the things they don't have time to do. They want to start the YouTube. They want to do this. They want to do that. But they also don't want to post every day. Okay. There's ways around it, but you still have to post. You still have to show up. And literally at the beginning of your business, you have to show up a lot. You have to show up every day. Nobody's not telling you to post throughout the day, but you need to show up every day. And even if it's not you showing up in real time, you need to have your content recorded so it appears as though you're showing up in real time. Like for me, I'm not going to lie to you, as I'm telling you guys to show up, I just thought to myself, like, hey, I haven't posted on Instagram in like a couple of days, but you want to know what? The content that I have up there has been performing pretty well. And even though I haven't been posting on that particular Instagram, I've been on my other platforms, so I'm still showing up. Okay, we are not robots. You have to do what you can, but do what you need to do. And I think people just stop at the do what I can. And sometimes what they can do, they choose to not do a lot or not to do anything. So you really just have to think of where you are and how serious you are about it. If you just want to do content creation, or do you want to do content creation that can make you money? Because those are two different things. If you just want to create content just for your own personal self, you can. And I'm not to say that this content cannot eventually make money for you, but I do feel like there's a misconception when it comes to creating online businesses or businesses in general. A business online is just equivalent to a brick and mortar. The only thing is you're not paying, for a physical store, but this is a business that's being ran online. So the same processes apply. Like, you need to show up. In order for people to be able to shop with you, know you exist, you need to be posting. You need to be creating content adjacent posts, meaning using things that are currently happening and figuring out how you can fit that into your business, and then creating content around that thing. If you could even find people that's in your same niche, learn their stories, and then you can use their stories to leverage whatever your message is in your brand. And that works too. And then shout them out. Now you're building connection with other creators. You know what I mean? So, excuse me, there's so many ways to go about it. I just feel like something I'm seeing a lot of now is that there's so many there's so many content gurus. There's so many people giving tips. There's so many people saying a lot. So we're hearing a lot and we're trying to take in a lot and we're trying to apply everything all at once. And that's literally going to put you in a a position to not want to post because you feel like your post is going to require too much just to post. And then two, it's going to have you feeling like, okay, you need to make a post focusing on this today, then you need to make a post focusing on this tomorrow, and that's not going to work either. And then it just has you thinking, okay, maybe I just need to switch my entire niche. Maybe what I'm doing is not fruitful enough. And now you're questioning where you are. And I just want you to keep in mind that in order for you to be recognized as something, you need to be doing that something for a while. Now, I know social media will make you feel like you can be a popcorn overnight success. Now, there are many small cases where that has occurred. But when you look back at a person's content, a lot of times who may randomly, go viral, they've been posting prior. They've been posting prior. Now, there's instances where you may just come to a social media platform and you may just make a post at the right time in the right space on the right algorithm and it hits. And that takes you over the moon. But for how long? How long will the virality last until everyone stops clapping, until that meme gets tiring, until it just looks like you're constantly reusing the same old thing. Now, there's nothing wrong with repurposing, but like trying to make the same previously viral content hit again and trying to do it all the time, it's going to turn your audience off because they're going to be like, it was funny last month, it was funny 2-3 months ago, it's not funny now, we've laughed it out, we've did it all, it's not it anymore. So now you have to figure out what's the next viral thing you can jump onto, and then now it's taking away from the services and experience you're trying to provide because you're just doing things for virality and it lacks authenticity. So you have to figure out how you're trying to show up this year. I don't want this video to be too long-winded, but that's just my take on a couple of things, and I do plan on posting another video. I don't know what I'm going to title this video, but yeah, I just wanted to leave you guys with that, and I want you to really get clear on how you're trying to show up on social media and really block out the noise. So I think I'm going to actually write that down as another video that I want to work on to create for y'all. So yeah, I will talk to you guys soon. I have a lot of things in store, and I personally, and I'm probably going to mention it in my next video, like I'm not doing too much. I'm not doing too much especially when it comes to showing up on all of these platforms. Imagine how long it takes to edit thumbnails for everything and edit covers for everything. I'm showing up as I am and I'm giving quality, and I am breaking generational curses just by what I'm doing alone. And you have to see what you're doing in that same aspect, or else you're not going to take it as seriously. If you don't see you posting, if you don't see you showing up online as you breaking generational curses, as something to be influential and make you feel good about yourself, and really thinking like, wow, God has chosen me, has appointed me to be the person to help his people in this particular area. If you can't take that seriously, then this is not the space for you, because what you put out into the world, people will digest it, people will listen to it, play it back, apply it to their lives. So when you're in these spaces of being an expert or just being a person that's journeying life and you're documenting it, people are even learning from you on your journey. So you don't need to be an expert all the time. You don't need to show up as one. Like for me, I know what I'm good at, but I also know I am still learning. And this is the space for that. This is the space where I can talk to you guys about the mistakes I've made on social media, what can help you on social media, as well as, my faith walk before everything, because I'm going to be talking about my faith a lot in this space. as well as just the things that I'm trying to handle in my actual life, because we're human beings at the end of the day. And I don't never want to come on social media and fake the funk and pretend to act like my life is lavish and things are perfect and money is just coming in my sleep. Like, people love to preach that and sell that to you, but in reality, it takes time, and it takes consistency, and it takes remembering your why. And even as I'm talking to you, I'm stepping out my comfort zone, creating long form content, because I'm very used to creating, a short 30 seconds or less reel. But I also realize I can connect better if I create longer content and I get to talk to you guys a little longer. But I'm trying to give myself a goal of not going over 30 minutes and keeping it minimum 25 minutes or lower for my videos of just straight talking. But this video, I'm going to try and add little cute clips in here so you could get a gist of where I'm coming from and things like that. And I'll also leave some information down in the bio as well. So I am going to talk to y'all soon, because I am giving y'all content per content as people have been asking me. And to be also honest, I will be cutting certain parts out of my videos, but I'm not going to be editing as hard for these videos. Now I can. Don't get me wrong. One thing your girl can do is edit a video. But I want to be my authentic self in real time. I'm not even going to create a thumbnail for this video. That's how serious I am. I'm just going to put a title on it, and we're just going to go from there, because I at least want you to know what you're about to click. So, yeah, I am going to leave y'all here, and I'm going to go work on my next video for you guys. So I'll talk to y'all soon. God bless.